Hello and welcome to a spooky episode of XenoChat. I am one of the hosts, Tyler, along with Justin.
Hey, everybody.
All right, we got three guests with us today. First up, we have Robin. And we have Marie.
Scared.
Hello.
And we have Nick.
I can't do it. I can't do it right now. Nope.
Well, what were you trying to do?
I was trying to do like a spooky laugh, but I'm like, oh no, I lost my voice, so I can't do that.
I mean, I can throw in some Albedo laughs.
Yeah, just throw it in.
Edit.
Yeah, there we go. There's something. But no, I killed my voice yesterday. Sorry, but yeah, I'm still here.
If you could find the laughing clip from like Darkstalkers,
I
then maybe
couldn't.
we could
I was
put that
looking
in.
for it the other day because I was playing Darkstalkers the other day, which is a Xeno game.
Yes,
we'll prove
totally.
it
Yes.
Yep. And I was looking for that laugh clip, and I know that's like a stock laugh clip of some kind because I've heard it somewhere else. I feel like I've heard it in like a Tim Burton movie or something, but I could not. I was looking everywhere and was having trouble. But yeah, no, that would be a good one to put in. But unfortunately, I can't do the spooky sounds right now. But hey, I'm here.
That's
Well,
good,
if you
'cause I'd be
find
too
it-
scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be scared of decrepit voice, man.
I will be.
All right. So yeah, it is October and Halloween's coming up. I will try to have this definitely up by Halloween. But yeah, we're just kind of gonna go around and talk about various moments in Xenogears, Xenosaga, and the Xenoblade games that either spooked us out, scared us, or just like that's creepy. So what better place to start than Xenogears? Woo.
That is scary.
Yeah, and one cannot, just simply start without talking about the red rum situation that happened in Nortoon.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
That
sorry.
monster that pops you open like a can of Mountain Dew and sucks you down. Sucks your blood
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, and just the way that it's. I mean, I know there's that. Is it necessarily a theory, or it's basically true that a lot of the killing could have possibly been id?
I believe it was basically like proven of like if you go back and like look at the timelines and how things work, it's like no wait, this was actually it doing everything, so you just killed an innocent guy, and that's why Satan had any sort of like we should like do something nice and take this and bury it as a sentiment. Whereas normally Satan having any sort of sentimental feelings doesn't happen.
Right. That is
like talking to his daughter. That's asking a little bit too much.
That's so creepy of him.
But yeah, there's just like the different like first person segments that happen in the sewers when the murdering's going on were quite spooky. So
I
it
was gonna
is.
say, it doesn't help.
Well, I think that was actually part of it. That like when you're looking at the first persons for the murder, it's like with a red filter, but when you're looking through Red Drum's point of view, it's with a green filter. I might be remembering this wrong because it's been a while, but I think that was part of why people are like, yeah, this is supposed to be it doing the killing, and Satan just covering Faye's ass so Rico doesn't super murder him. Also in the sewer, there was that fucking fetus bird.
No, not even the bird. There's the giant baby thing too.
Yeah, there was.
What was it called?
Oh,
I had
yeah.
it on the tip of my tongue. It was like no, not the Lost Child. It was something like I'm drawing a blank. One second.
Yeah, that thing was really gross and creepy looking.
It's a bit too far in my brain to remember any name.
Yeah, I don't remember most of the monster names. I was thinking about that giant, like, kind of bird fetus thing.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
All right. But yeah, that was... I mean,
But anyways, there's creepy
A
monster.
bad to look at monster.
Yeah, that whole sewer sequence was
Got
pretty
one with
creepy.
Freezer.
Yeah,
and-
honestly,
and-
like it was really framed like an horror movie, especially the
Mhm.
camera work and everything. Like it was really framed like an horror movie. Like, oh no, people are gonna die by some weird creature going through the sewers.
Yeah, and when you defeat Red Rum, that's when you get. Is it like a music box or something?
You get a
And then
bell.
yeah, and you can give it to
You can give
uh,
it to his son.
yeah, which is like, sorry, we killed your dad, but here's his bell.
Well, the worst part is that, like, sorry we killed your dad for something he didn't fucking do, and Satan knows that. Faye doesn't know that. Rico doesn't know that. Satan's just sitting there like, yeah, we framed your dad.
I think the fetus thing was just called an orphan, if I remember right.
Orphan. That sounds right.
Yeah, it
But-
was like it had a giant bulbous baby head. It was like
Mhm.
yeah, it was disturbing. It looked like it looked like a baby mixed with like your lower intestines or something, from what I remember.
I'll try to
not
grab a
Why? How
picture.
much I do not remember that. I guess I'll have to play the game again. Oh no.
I'll try to grab a picture of it if I can.
Sure.
Yep, please do.
Okay. Well, let's talk about another moment that Satan kind of wasn't really forth with at first, and that was the when they had the food from the Soylent system.
Oh yes, totally, totally
That's what I was
not
thinking of when
like.
I was talking about it. Well, sorry, they put in a picture of the fetus thing, and I was like, yeah, I thought it was kind of birdish.
I guess
like
it
it
is
has a
kind of
beak.
birdish. I just remember it being more baby like, but yeah, you're right. It does look birdish. Sorry.
It
Go
just
on,
looks like a
HK.
It was
bird,
just
baby
like
bird
a
with single
blob.
arm.
It's still
Blob of flesh.
fetusy
Anyway, sorry.
either way. No,
Yeah,
you're fine.
It's definitely
But
fetus.
yeah, the solvent. We're totally not eating people without knowing.
Yeah, Faye and Ellie were so hungry, and Satan was like, "Oh, you guys can just have some of this stuff, and
I'm not gonna have any. Don't worry about it.
don't worry about it."
Baby, like, yo, pass me the hot sauce.
Yeah, the scariest thing about Xenogears is that half the cast acts like a serial killer.
The scariest thing is
Well,
how Satan
technically-
just does not care. Hi.
Well, when you
Satan
think-
is serial
when you think
serial
about it,
killer,
they-
killer.
a lot of them had like issues. Like Faye went crazy and killed a bunch of people.
Oh, not just
possibly.
acts like yes, that's true.
And then there's Ellie. Ellie also went
Mhm.
crazy at some point and did a murder.
Oh right, that scene where she
Yeah.
like gets high on the drugs and like kills a bunch of
Yes,
people. That actually is kind of
killed
creepy
a bunch of
scene.
People, yeah. Blood
Yeah.
everywhere. You know. Yeah, there's quite a bit like even like whenever it shows up, like it's always like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like you can never really fully predict like how crazy it's gonna get. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
someone's adding something. I see. Krillin experiments. Yeah, yeah. That's definitely horror movie shit. Yep.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, and what happened with Ramses is also kind of like, I mean, it's horrific and I guess like
Yeah, Ramses it's a lot more like psychological, but like it's also like very crazy.
mm-hmm, just gets thrown away and then has
Yeah.
to crawl his way out.
Yeah.
the-
As a baby fetus.
Yeah,
As a baby fetus.
Like I was saying, or like I had put earlier, the whales are basically zombies.
Yeah, whales are
They're basically
literally
zombies, and they don't admit that.
Yeah.
like people turning and yeah.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, because people either become the body of God or they become fuel.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
they either were chosen to be one of the gospel or they became body of God. That was it. And the Wells were like, "Here, just go be part of the mass that will form God."
You know, us thinking back on it, like I need to replay Xenogears, but like us thinking back on all this stuff that happens in Xenogears, I'm like, wow, this story kind of feels like Bloodborne.
Honestly, I would love to go back to Xenogears, but every time I think about it, I'm like, I think about Babel Tower, and I'm like, no.
Oh yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
I like
the actual
scariest.
horror. The actual horror. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, this is
I
my
like it.
actual
I like
horror
it.
movie. It's the Babel Tower platform segment. I'm like, I never want to do it ever again in my entire life. Okay.
I didn't.
I'm
I
honestly
didn't
Not
just-
that bad.
I think more than anything else, I'm just kind of surprised that this game managed a teen rating. In some
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Pixel art, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
It's
but
the only
honestly,
reason.
back in those days, I feel like they were a lot more lenient, or were not really checking, because there's a lot of games from those days that were like, often very passable, and you're just like, how did that pass teen?
Yeah, I'm gonna bank on if they didn't really check it, or like the footage they got just didn't show a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. What did you just add?
No, nothing.
I see it.
Nothing
I
Let's-
see
to
it,
ignore.
and I'm just like, oh god.
And we're not
Yes,
I'm
reading it.
ignoring that.
And we're not reading that.
Anyway,
Moving on. Yeah, like Deus absorbing most people on the planet. That's definitely kind of creepy.
yeah,
too.
that ties in with Wells and the
That's
Yeah.
very
mass.
that's very horror shit too.
I didn't mean to bother you. I
It's
didn't
not
try to-
even my birthday. Okay, we won't talk about what I added.
But yeah,
Mystery.
But that's a hint.
We're thinking people want a $400 watch, not a part of the game. That's
Yep.
not
Yeah,
scary.
I think that's the real horror.
That's not scary.
Truly
That's just-
terrifying.
it's just Square being silly.
I don't know why Square thinks we want a $400 watch.
Yeah, no,
We
thank
don't.
you.
And we're getting more of those volume 3 of
People
those
would jump
structure
on a
arts.
$400 figurine if it was well made, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah.
there's
Like,
our
imagine, like,
$400 statue.
one of those statues that like are very well done, But the thing is, a lot of the figurines of Square tends to be more within Square, and like I don't love their figurine. But lately, they've been branching out a little bit more, where they seem to let other companies do some of their figurines now. So I'm like,
That'd be nice.
who knows? Maybe.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
yeah, I guess we can move on to
Or just-
Xenosaga.
Okay. So nobody has any. Okay. Okay.
I don't think I have anything else for Xenogears because it's so far in my head. I'm like,
I mean,
yeah.
other than I guess it's a little bit horrific with that part where they drop the. Actually, it's funnier than it is horrific. It's just like they drop all those things into the ocean and shit out of the giant fish bowl. It's like,
Oh,
it's
yeah. Where they're dropping all the giant wells, but it's because of the old graphics, it just kind of looks silly.
well, that and it's not helped by like I feel like it's supposed to be a little bit of a freaky moment, but it kind of like undercuts itself whenever the captain of the Thames is like, "Oh, they're dropping them out of a giant fishbowl or something."
Yep, like what's coming out of that fishbowl thing?
Yeah.
Look, it's popcorn.
All right, we can move on to Xenosaga. So one of the things that I thought was kind of creepy was Cosmos Archetype, which is Tetsuya Takahashi's favorite design of Cosmos, by the way. And I just thought she was like, just the way her movements are and everything.
The movements are janky and very like
Like,
off-putting, and like
Ye-
she's very like extremely robotic back then. She's just like, yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
kill you
It's
now.
Uncanny Valley mannequin horror stuff.
Ye-
Yeah.
exactly. Like, just imagine an RE2 mod replacing Mr. X with Cosmos Archetype, and that would scare me.
And she
Oh,
spider
yeah.
crawls with her heads upside down on the ceiling or something. Yeah.
Or like, imagine if like you know like that segment in I think the newer Resident Evil with the vampire lady coming
Oh,
after
Lady
you in that
D.
labyrinth.
Oh,
Imagine if
Lady
it
D
was
was
like
brilliant.
the archetype Cosmos instead.
I wonder if there's any Xeno related mods for Resident Evil. I'm gonna have to look that up.
If
There
only we could
probably are. There are like so many mods.
Yeah.
if you only could mod Cosmos in place of Edie from Metroid Dread or something.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, that'd be kind of cool actually.
Like that would work because
Yeah.
the crawl is like similar.
Yeah.
That would be cool. And yeah, I remember OG Resident Evil 4, there was like a mod where people like put in like Shion and some other Xenosaga characters in. I'll have to see if that video still exists. But that was like a long time ago.
You know what else is scary? Bunny's got 2 heads.
The face. No, well, not 2 heads, but like 2 faces.
Oh yeah,
That
1
would-
head, 2 face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bunny's two-faced.
In your
Yeah,
psyche.
literally.
In your psyche, he does at least, I guess. Sort of.
Yeah, and we
Maybe
only
in reality?
because I think we only see Bunny's second face in episode 1, and then
Yeah.
never again.
And the anime.
And the
Oh,
anime,
yeah, that's true.
true. I wondered that do they show it in Xenosaga 1 and 2? I wonder, or
I do not recall. Well, the DS thing, I don't know.
yeah.
You're the
Hmm.
creepiest looking guy here moment.
But I love the bunny still, even if he has a creepy face in the back.
He's just angry. He's just
It's like
angry.
what were they thinking with that
They
design?
probably thought it was funny and just
It-
rolled with it.
It is funny.
Yeah.
And it's just like he's like the mascot of. Is he the mascot of the UMN? No.
Yeah, well, he's
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
he's a
I would
mascot
think
that
so.
like I don't. It was so unclear if he was the UMN mascot or just a mascot that like Shion liked and therefore used as her like
Like,
personal-
But
Oh,
regardless, it was a
avatar.
popular mascot in their universe.
Right.
Bunny was the Clippy of UMN.
Was Bunny Clippy or was Bunny Hello Kitty? That's what I don't know.
I mean,
Hello
maybe
Kitty with a
Bunny
second
both.
face.
But now I'm trying to imagine Hello Kitty that if it had a second face and turned around.
Oh God, that would be terrifying.
It would be.
Yeah.
Have we ever seen Hello Kitty from the back?
Yes.
I have
Yes?
actually.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, there's a lot of figures of Hello Kitty, so yeah.
Have we ever seen Hello Kitty and Hello Kitty from the back in the same room though?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say yes because I do have a figurine of Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's another face underneath the fur.
Yeah, that could be.
Oh.
no.
Oh.
What do you? So we got to skin Hello Kitty to see the other face.
Yeah, Hello Kitty
Or grave.
moves the Hello. Well, wait, actually no, because we know that Hello Kitty's a little girl, so there is a
Oh, I
person
forgot.
there.
But I thought
I
that.
forgot.
Oh wait, was it a suit or did she transform though?
Yes.
I don't know enough.
Don't
I don't know.
answer that.
I don't know enough about the lore of Hello Kitty to answer that.
I couldn't remember. I know I heard at one point it was like, Kitty
how we
White
went
have a
from-
suit or
From the bunny in Xenosaga to trying to unveil a new lore for Hello
Oh.
Kitty.
isn't she
Anyways.
British too? Isn't she canonically British?
Yeah.
But that's besides the
You know
point.
who else is British?
Bunny?
Betty from Xenosaga
Yeah.
1.
Betty.
She's not.
She's
I just had
British?
to think of a transition to get us back on track.
Oh yeah, the little
Yeah.
girl who was infected by a gnosis and became part gnosis.
Oh, okay.
And-
Yeah, I forgot. Okay, so like I was looking at this, I'm like, who the hell was Betty? But then now I remember. I remember
Yes,
now.
Yeah.
the
I forgot that
tune
they were called
yeah.
Betty.
Yeah, that was really off-putting scene, especially like as Junior was like just explaining the whole story and people were just like gasping in horror, and you're just trying to imagine like, oh, poor little girl.
Yeah, but that it. So she's technically still alive, right?
Yeah,
she's grown up.
She kept growing up in the tube, but so she's still alive, but she's like not awake.
It's like, what kind of existence is that? It's yeah, it's very off-putting scene, and I know there's other like creatures in that room or other tubes, and are they also people that were? Yeah.
No, they might have been, but they're when you see them, they're just Gnosis.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Betty's
Yeah,
the
but
only
it was
one where
the most one of the most gruesome, I guess.
Yeah, because there's I remember there was a scene on the Woglende where a gnosis like fuses with an eggs, which that
Yep, and then you kill
Oh
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's also very crazy. Whatever
Yeah.
happened.
yeah. this was like fused with a little girl and just. But yeah, that scene was pretty gruesome, and it. I was kind of wondering if that would ever lead to something, because that would be interesting if she like maybe during episode 3 during the attack on the Durandal, if he had like gotten loose or something.
Oh yeah, that would have
That
been
would-
crazy. Especially like the scene of the Durandal in general is just so like gruesome. Like especially also when I saw like the version in Japanese with all the blood, I was like, oh, this is like so heavy, my heart.
Mhm.
Like it was a literal like action or movie type thing where like everything got you know splattered literally.
Mhm. Mhm.
I guess we could move to the next one. Our favorite crazy villain Albedo that likes to either shoot himself or like remove his head or but especially the part where you remove his head like with his bare hands. Yeah. Though
Honestly, just that whole scene is so
Yeah.
unsettling and
yeah,
Oh,
and
like
both
yeah.
versions, whether you're watching the censored or the uncensored version, I feel like both of them are just as bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the scene with Momo in general is very unsettling.
yeah.
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 Yeah,
Really
in both
are, although
versions, honestly. I know people will go back and forth about how they ruined it, they censored it, but honestly, I think both kind of get the point across.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
me
yeah.
too. And like both are just as creepy, honestly.
Yeah, whether he's like tearing off his head or using a knife to cut off his head, it's still like that's gruesome and fucked up. He's doing that in front of Momo.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the ones where like I think that the censored version is actually more gruesome, which people have discussed.
Yeah.
It's like
I
I don't know. I
watched
feel like
both
ripping off your
versions.
own head is a little bit more gruesome than cutting it
The
off.
knifing it.
Yeah.
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 My brain is like always unsure which was the censored one or not because like I watched both and now it's kind of mixed like memory in my head. Which one is the censored? Is it the knife?
The censored one is where he rips his
Censor-
head off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Censored whip.
So
Yeah.
so they removed the knife, but
Didn't he shoot himself in the head originally, or was that something else?
think it was a
basically
different
I think he gets shot in the head at least once.
for the hand, like initially in the GP version, he has the gun. In the non-GP version, he has the energy ball. That
That's
Okay, that's
episode
it.
2. That was
Yeah,
episode 2.
That was 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
but
So that one
yeah,
is more of like a neutral. Sure, both are bad.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but yeah, I think that ripping your head off is more gruesome than cutting it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just yeah. Yeah.
The music really helps too.
Oh,
It
yeah.
really makes it even
Oh yeah, the music, his
better.
theme
Music's
song
very
like
good.
slaps, but at the same time, it really gives you the atmosphere of like, yeah, don't stay close to this guy too long because he's not quite right in the head.
In the head that's now on the floor.
yeah, it's talking, it's still talking to you too.
Until he steps on it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just moving something around.
The part where he kicks it under the rug. No, I'm kidding.
all right. I guess
Uh,
we could move on to our lovable, very creepy, fucked up Realiens that basically are the Realiens that turned into like corrupted Realiens question mark. I'm not even sure how to describe them, but they're terrifying.
Are they? I think don't they have a specific name?
There are
I
a few.
remember, but it's been a while.
They're like
I think
Oh,
byproducts.
the
I think.
Asura. It's the Asura series.
The Asura series, yes. The ones with
Yes.
the knife arms, yeah. So this is just kind of like maybe a catch-all for all like fucked up styles of Realiens, but the Asura specifically were the ones we were thinking of when we originally like put this on the list, basically.
Yeah, because even like the way they pop up like in an existing body, like it's some kind of parasite coming out of them. I'm just like, Ew.
They kind of remind me of what would be the enemies that you see in like Dead Space later or something.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, they definitely have that sci-fi horror vibe.
Yeah, they
Almost,
do. They really do.
almost.
They're very sci-fi horror. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
Um,
recall which game it is, but there's one where like you're fighting all the byproducts, I think. And at first you're just like, okay, whatever, I'm fighting Gnosis, and then like as you're looking at the enemy type, you're like, oh, wait, no, these are biological enemies. These aren't Gnosis.
Yeah, those
Um,
were other screwed up things. But
yeah, and one of
giant.
the. Oh, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say the giant scythe bladey arms that are like slightly curved at the end, if I remember right. I was gonna say they actually remind me a little bit of something else that I'm like forgetting the name of. So go ahead, you come back to me.
There was another one where it had like a buzzsaw on its torso.
Oh
I don't
gosh.
remember this one.
Reminds me even more of another thing. I'll get back to you.
Okay. But yeah, they're prominent in some really horrific scenes, like the chapel scene with Febronia.
Oh yeah, that's like that was part like there was those, but it was also kind of regular Realiens that then went like kind
Right.
of kaput and were just like trying to eat Favonia or something alive. Like there was a lot of fucked up shit in this scene.
I had to so I'm back with an answer. I had to consult with my kaiju expert, but Gigan is what the blade arms and the buzzsaw in the center remind me of a little bit. I wonder if that's like slight inspiration for those Asura
It's
series.
possible. It's possible.
Mhm.
Considering I feel like they I feel like our Xeno people in general would like stuff with kaiju and mix.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
That's why I was like, wait, I
Yeah.
see a
pretty
connection
sure they
here.
took some inspirations there.
Yeah, Godzilla Gigan. That's the
Oh,
that's the
okay.
line. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the chapel scene was horrifying. And then also the scene with Shion's parents.
Yeah, because like she saw she didn't fully see it because she was hiding, but at the
Right.
same time she could hear all the noises and the stabbing and like
Mhm.
see the
Mm.
if you play the English version, you would see no freaking blood for some reason. But in Japanese, if you see the scenes again in Japanese and you see the blood splatter on the floor, you're just like, damn, okay.
hmm And there was because the scene in episode 1 and the Cosmos's well, what's the word I'm looking for?
Subconscious domain
Yeah,
Cosmos thing. Yeah.
yeah, because it has that scene in there, and
Yeah, that scene is a bit like it's a bit like corrupted a bit in that sense because like
right.
you see a bit both sides of like Shion's seeing her parenting, but then there's Junior that's seeing
Mm,
the URTVs that were,
exactly, but it was
the URTVs turning berserk is also something pretty gruesome. It's almost like
Yeah, I was
zombie
thinking about
zombie
that.
kind of horror bullshit.
okay. Well, what I was getting at is because in that part
Yeah.
with because we see some Asura
Yeah.
Realiens come together, and
do.
they kind of like merge together, and it makes
Yeah, they
this like
become this
gross.
disgusting thing. Yeah.
It makes these gross noises, and yeah, because it's very body horror grossness.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
like these things are like probably the most gruesome thing.
Yeah.
Like they're so off-putting whenever you look at them because the thing is Gnosis are very off-putting too, but at the same time they're not like humanoid enough to feel
mhm.
as off-putting as like these
Yeah.
Realiens because the
Mhm.
Realiens are those
Yeah.
those Realiens are like really close to an actual human body, so like them moving the way they do and like doing these noises and stuff, you're like, oh no, ew, just
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it's a
No
lot more off-putting than this, like the big noses that are just some of them just look stupid. You're just like, okay, it's kind of freaky, but at the same time, you look too goofy for it to be that off-putting.
yeah, Gnosis are more the ethereal blobby things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some of them looks like fish
jellyfish
too.
vibes. Yeah, a lot of them have like fish and jellyfish vibes and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is a literal whale, so
True
And
horrors. The true horror in Xenosaga is when Matthews runs out of beer.
Oh
Ugh.
no.
Don't joke about that.
Mm-mm.
I
Gonna give me nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Horror's
Like,
also paying off his debt. That was also
yeah,
horror.
staying on the Realian thing, the whole story with Cecily and Kate was very off-putting too, because it's just like they're in the program living something like a sort of paradise, but in truth they're just like completely like destroyed in the sense because they're just like part of the Zoar system and like their body is all screwed up.
Yeah, they've that's a fairly horrific scene in a
Yeah,
way. Just
honestly,
seeing
like
them.
whenever they
Yeah.
show their body, even though like the graphics are not
Mhm.
like the best in the world, like you can just
Yeah.
imagine the amount of damage of those body, and you're like, damn, okay, no, that's half-putting. That's
Yeah,
really ugh.
Do you
yeah. When
mind
you
if I?
see them, oh, go
I'm
on.
sorry. No. You go on first because I have like an add-in that's like very much addendum to that. So go
Oh,
ahead.
okay, I was just gonna say when you see them like physically in episode 2 and like hooked up to that system on like
Yeah,
on respirators, it was it was
it
kind of
was
like
really
gut
off-putting, and
wrenching.
especially like uh, or oh man, I have I have a blank. Hold on. Or the bigger sister. We told her name like
Febronia.
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 We told her name like 5 minutes ago, but my brain is derping. But yeah, like she comes and like just asks you to like deliver them, and you're like, oh damn, this is heavy. This is off-putting and heavy.
Oh,
Oh no. But at the same time, like trying to like free them from that system is probably for the best because they're just dead basically, but they're still alive, but they're dead. So yeah,
Yeah, it's like that kind of thing is like, they probably would be better off dead in this case. Like if they
mhm,
have to live this way, kind of thing.
mhm. Exactly. What were you gonna say, Nick?
So my just like little this, I'm gonna take it back just a little bit because Cecily and Kate's reminded me of something from Xenogears actually. The fate of Hammer, like his transformation
Oh
is
yeah.
oh yeah,
similarly kind of freaky
That
yeah,
was
true.
freaky,
because
and
he
just
also kind of gets like part cyborg destroyed in a very horrific looking kind of way, and also like yeah, it's like it's like he transforms himself at the cost of just like basically destroying his body in the process, kind of thing,
yeah, it's devastating.
and
Mm,
he blows up.
mm. And then he
I
blows
think
up.
we covered a lot of the Xenosaga stuff, but like there might be more because Xenosaga has so much stuff that's fucked up. So I'm just like,
Creepy Kevin.
Yeah, and I
oh
know there's
god,
people
yeah.
out there who'll even say just most of the dungeons in Xenosaga are creepy just by the
Oh
fact
yeah,
that
there's a
they're
lot of things that are
silent.
creepy in
Well,
You mean
general. Like
just by
you
the
mean the
fact that like there's no
you're just
music in a lot of areas.
like even like old Milcha in general, especially like in the especially also in the Xenosaga tree setting, like with the 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 very like off-putting thunder and rain and like the music, you're like, oh man, this is really oof. Things are not going well here. But then there's also the Xenosaga 1 version that was very silent. A bit.
and then not to mention Cathedral Ship is a flesh pit meat.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
also very creepy. Yeah.
it is very creepy. And
It is, but it looks so completely nonsensical.
so
Like you
blobby.
know you're in a flesh thing, but it doesn't at all feel like. Yeah, I'm in a body that functions. You're like, I'm in a dungeon that's made of meat. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. I mean, but you know, there's some people that are skeezed out by the meat
Oh no,
look.
I get that.
I this might not be everybody, but I was kind of like like the way you run into like Great Joe in that game kind of creeped me out. I don't know.
Oh, because he's just
You
in her closet.
You just
Oh my
blast
gosh.
open that closet, and then there's this creepy guy just standing in there. I'm like, oh, okay. And I didn't play Xenogears first, so I was like, who the hell is this guy?
I mean, even playing Xenogears first, all you get is like, what?
And he's
Why
like,
are you in this closet?
and he's not as bright and as flamboyantly dressed as original Joe, so it's like, this guy's kind of creepy.
Oh yeah, kind of is. Well, I mean, there is a creepy factor to to Joe in general. So
That's true. That's
like,
true.
somebody can appear anywhere, even in like the harshest of places. They're like, oh, what's going on? I don't think I'd be exactly. Oh, I'm relieved to see you. I'd be like, how did you get here? Also,
Particularly when you're, in a lighthouse deep underground, and there he is selling
Yeah.
shit, and you're like, what are you doing?
Which the Zaboam
some great
area
deals on
was
sale,
kind of
stranger.
creepy.
I can't believe they put Big Joe in Resident Evil 4.
I know that was him all along. Got some good things on sale, stranger.
All right. Well, let's move on
Humor
to.
me for a second. Humor me for a
Okay.
second.
Yeah, go
I
on.
just thought, Cathedral Ship is big meat pile. It has
Uh-huh.
a billboard with Y fish on it.
Uh-huh.
It looks kind of like how the fish is made.
No, I'm all right. We're cutting you off there before we get
Okay,
into.
that's all I got. That's all I got. I just thought about it for a second. Sorry.
I'm not sure if I.
It's a video game about like
It is a good game. It's just nope. We're gonna get distracted. We're gonna get distracted.
existentialist shit with fish in a meat pit sewer thing. So that's why I made the connection. Sorry. Go on. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to Xenoblade 1. So we have B. Unfortunately, couldn't be here today. But she suggested a few things, and one of them being all the big things trying to kill you, especially the monkey. ...
Big monkey.
Monkey is very scary, especially when you're low level and you just look at it and you're like, nope.
Yeah, going from Xenosaga, where everything is, for the most part, evenly leveled throughout, and then going to Xenoblade, and then having this
Yeah, especially like the
level
first Xenoblade when
80.
it was
Yeah.
your first one, and you just not used to that, and then you suddenly see that, you're like, wait, there's enemies higher level than me.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna
And
say
the sizes also matter, their damage portion. Oh.
We would say the names like Rotbart and stuff like that, but they renamed them in several of the games to the point where it's just like, yeah, it's Rotbart, or yeah, it's the I had the other one in my head and I just lost it.
Well, I know like
It's
everybody knows the
mostly
monkeys.
Rotbart.
We'll say the monkeys, but like it's more than just the monkeys. It's really just most unique monsters in general.
Yeah,
because like again, I'm sure almost anybody who's played Xenoblade back in the day and even today, I'm sure a lot of people kind of got taken aback when they played the game, and then all of a sudden they saw a level 80 monster not too far from the starting area, and you're just like, wait, what? And like in Blade 1 especially, it's kind of funny because they can respawn. It's not like Blade 2 where you have the tombstones and then you can respawn them, but like in Blade 1, even if you kill the unique monster, they can just respawn. So what happened with me once is I kill the unique monster and I save the game, and then like I ended up loading that file again, and as soon as I loaded the file, I heard "You Will Know Our Names" play like immediately. I was like, "Wait, what?"
Jump scare.
Yeah,
Jump scare.
like as on the loading screen.
Yeah. I think I clipped that. If I could find that clip, I'll send it to you. It was really funny.
That's hilarious.
Yes, please do.
Wait, did they not in Definitive Edition? Didn't they do the Graves thing again? Didn't they like put that back?
No, I don't think so.
I think they did. I could have. Maybe I'm remembering.
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Oh,
it's been a while since I played Definitive Edition, but I don't think they did that.
I thought they put Graves in because I could have sworn like remembering fighting that, that Hawks like the little squirrel thing that was like a special one on the little hill off to the side on Bionis Lake. I thought I remembered seeing like a grave appear after I fought that thing in the Definitive Edition, but I might be just misremembering and getting stuff mixed up in my memory. Who knows? Who knows? Giant dinosaurs too. Great. Yeah.
Giant dinosaurs, yeah.
Giant dinosaur. Level 120 or was it 100? 120? I don't remember. Yeah.
I think 120 is in a different place.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But yeah, just big old monsters, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I remember.
Or sometimes-
wait, I'll say that.
I was gonna say, sometimes not even big old monsters. Like I remember there was like an island that had like level 80 fish, like near the
Yeah.
beginning.
Oh yeah, with the
and-
water
Yeah.
combat in that.
Yeah, the shit with the.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
The fishies.
Yeah.
The fishies were the fishies are especially like scary because like you're in the water, you can't really fight them in Xenoblade 1. You're
Mhm.
just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
When the time of day, whenever it changes from day to night and vice versa in like Satoral Marsh, and you're just like, oh shit, why how did everything get so powerful all of a sudden?
Okay. So, the stomach area of Bionis. Pretty creepy, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty creepy. It felt like I was being digested alive. Honestly, it
Sorry,
was
this was another one where for me, I'm just like, this doesn't look like a body. This is
Acid,
nothing.
the stomach acid stuff
It
going
was just
on.
floating
there was
nonsense
even a
land.
good part. It was not all of it, but like there was. I can't even remember if it was like the actual stomach or somewhere else, but like there was a specific region of it where there was actual like cells like floating around
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
it
but they were
felt-
floating around in like a bullshit way.
yeah, but still, like it was like, it looks kind of ew.
well, I mean, like
Yummier.
it's the Bionis body, not a human body, so they have a little bit of free reign with how it kind of like works. You know?
Come on, it's just a
I
3D
know, but,
version
like-
of that one boss from Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, I mean, wait, the slime that you knock the heart out of?
No, the one where you get like eaten by the frog.
Oh,
You're
the
inside,
frog.
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of like.
Oh, I remember that.
I thought you meant the slime with the heart in the middle that you like have to knock the
No,
slime
not
until
that
you hit
one.
the heart.
I guess the other part is the mechanics that were attacking Bionis like in the first part of the game where like when you think about it, like being attacked or being close to these things when you know they're gonna attack you at all costs, it's
Yeah.
kind of scary. Like
I mean,
they did look a bit off-putting.
yeah, like those giant blade fingers on Metal Face with the blood on them. Yeah, those are
Yeah, there was
good.
that, but like also just even like the regular mechanics ones, like they look
Yeah.
so off-putting. Like they look like big spiders, big mechanical spiders
yeah.
almost sometimes with the way
Definitely.
they walk and stuff. Like you're just oh no.
I think that some of the the face mechon are supposed to be the ones that are like, oh yeah, they're the big bad horrific ones, but also like the regular
The small ones
mechons are like
also
they.
pretty off-putting.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. The regular mechons, I think, are like way more off-putting because they don't have faces all the time, you know? Or it's
Mhm.
like they have a face that's like really obscured if they do and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's like it makes for like a freakier looking amorphous thing. That's like, yeah, something made this out of metal for some reason, I guess.
Yeah,
Not
for
really
me,
somebody.
what makes them kind of freaky is just like the whole mystery behind them at first, because you kind of don't really know where they came from. They just kind of
Yeah.
show up and
Yeah.
they're just like destroying a bunch of stuff and killing people, and you're like, oh boy, man, that
Yeah,
sucks.
it feels very like, oh, this is the
Yeah.
mechanical zombie apocalypse, I guess.
Blimey, Schultz, there's a walking meat grinder out here.
So
Shit like that.
I love how you did the accent with it too.
It's like I don't think anyone in that game ever said blimey.
I don't think so.
No.
But yeah, another horrific scene. When oh gosh, what's the? I know you said bird people, but I forget what's their names
Telepathy?
again.
Hyantia?
Hi India, yes.
Oh, hi,
Yeah.
India. I was
But
like,
yeah,
wait, are you talking
But yeah,
about...
they turn into Telethia.
Yeah.
That moment is like
Yeah, like this is like literally actual zombie horror because like literally they become monsters and they just kill stuff, and
I-
it
It's-
just gets really bad.
I mean, it's also very similar to nosification and
Yeah. because, like,
wells.
when you think
Um,
about it, also like the Tilatias, like whenever we see like some leftovers of Tilatias like from a long time ago, like they seem to turn to statues or salt or something at the end. Just
Yeah.
they turn completely white and they're kind of stopped in time a bit.
Salt
It's
pale.
just it's just really off-putting to look at. It's just like, oh
Mhm.
boy, ew.
The true horror of this episode is how many names common names from the series we're forgetting.
I know, for real.
yeah,
I'll blame Falcom for taking all of my disk space right now in my brain.
Salt? The salt pail? What? No.
no, we're the worst Xeno fans. We
Yeah,
we
we're
we are.
horrible.
The
Gotta
thing is,
replay
I
Xenogears.
pipelined in 2 trails, and yeah, my brain space is getting overtaken.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
As long
Okay.
as we still love the series and are willing to be corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Please,
still
please correct
adore
us.
the Xeno series. Like it will always stay with me.
All right. How about
And how come I'm the only one who pre-ordered the 3rd set of mechs?
I just
Huh?
I only want one of the mechs from that series and that's it. But I don't want the other two.
I only want one of the mechs, and that
I
was
got
enough.
the other ones before. I wanted to get maybe the new one, but at the same time, I'm like, but I already have versions of these mechs already from my previous buys, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
do I want them in mini too? I don't know.
I'm more like I need to finish the ones that I have.
Yeah,
as
I
is.
haven't even finished one.
But
So
it's
I
also
haven't
the
finished any of them.
release
like any of the
wise.
sets.
When does it come out? I forgot, but like
next
I don't
year.
know. Look.
yes, but
I
next
saw
year
Steer
I have
was
a lot of
available.
orders. I have a lot of orders next year. That's the other issue. I have too many orders next year because Falcom is ruining me. It's all
Anyway.
Falcom's fault.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Nick, you wanted to talk about Valak Mountain and its emptiness.
Oh yeah, we're to that. Okay, yeah. So I know this isn't going to be horrific for anybody or anything like that, and it is very much a mild, creepy kind of horror. But in like, especially as someone who enjoys like kind of like the liminal horror thing, I like the horror of just the feeling of being isolated in an area where like if you put yourself in that place, you and think of it as like, oh, you're isolated, you have nothing. And I feel like especially like the music in the daytime on Valak Mountain and just like how hostile and snowy it is, and like whenever you're in like the blizzard weather especially, the music really complements it and makes this feeling for like of, oh, I'm just like lost on this mountain, I can't see where I'm going hardly.
yeah.
There's all these enemies coming out of the sky to hit me, and it's just like, for the characters in the game, they're so capable, so it like really doesn't put that in there, but like I could see that being like a really scary feeling of just being lost and trapped on the side of a mountain that you don't know how to get off of because you just legitimately can't see half the like most of the way you're going at the time. And it's like, I mean, there's been movies set in like Antarctica and things like that to great effect that are like horror movies, and it's not even just like part of the horror of something like even The Thing or something is like, oh, it's not just that there's a monster, it's that we're isolated here, we're on our own. That like is a big factor in that. And I thought that, oh, I don't think Valak Mountain during the night is really scary because the snow crystals, or not snow crystals, the crystals on it really kind of clear up things, and it's like kind of clear and calm. But during the day, when you're in like a snowstorm weather in that area and the music is just hitting, there are parts that I was like, wow, I just like feel truly alone here. So I did want to give it a little bit of a mention in a different horror kind of sense for those who are into that sort of thing. But that's about my spiel on that.
Yeah, honestly, as someone who lives in a place that has a lot of snow, yeah, snow scary.
Yeah, it can be. It can absolutely be. It's like I don't live in a place with a lot of snow, but we got a snowstorm that was, well, also we do get ice every now and then, and that is also that will shut everything down.
If you would like
But
Like honestly, I feel like ice is even more scary than snow, but at the same
yeah,
time, when you have a lot
Yeah.
of snow falling and you can barely see where the tracks are and everything, that's when it gets a bit like, oh god.
exactly. And that I think that during the snowstorm weather on Valak Mountain, it really hits that effect well of like, oh, you can barely see anything around you. You don't know exactly where you're going, other than like. Fortunately, Valak Mountain is mostly downhill, so you kind of know where you're going. But it's still like, oh, especially if you're trying to like kind of check around places, it's easy to get lost in parts of that. So it's I think it carries that out like fairly well in some
Hmm.
ways.
Okay.
But that's not the only scary place.
That's it.
Yes. I also think that Agnaritha at night is pretty creepy. A lot of a lot of it has to do with the music, because I think the music really just sells just how much of a deserted wasteland it's become.
Mm-hmm.
That and I also just think like the horror of like mechanical monstrosities that could just like chew you up and spit you out is like always kind of like a creepy thing when you really think about it. I mean, like that's like it depends on what you do with it, of course, but like
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, oh yeah, this place is so unnatural feeling
I
in
forgot
general.
which monsters it were, but like the like very tall, big ones that you'll see stomping around,
Yeah.
and like you are able to you are able to get a high enough level while you're there to eventually beat them, but initially probably you're not.
Are you talking
Yeah,
about
But like
initially they're
oh
they
yeah.
look so
really,
like they would step on you and not notice and just keep going.
but
Not
also
to
like
mention all the ones that do spike damage when you topple them.
yeah, the
Oh my
spike damage
goodness.
in this area had really gotten bad. Like, and also it was so easy to like start a fight somewhere and just be ganged on by like an army of like mechs that came out of nowhere. Just because of the way the stage was laid out, they would like see that you were fighting, they would like go around to come to you. It was like, oh god, the number of time I got like ganged on in this place was bad.
Trent Reznor was fucking loving it. It's like, yes, yes, all this mechanical nonsense.
I like mechanical nonsense.
I love it too. I do. I like it too. Yeah, no, it has a horror vibe to it. It has a horror factor to it. I think like and like honestly, that's the big thing about like location, like area horror too. Not just like the
Mm-hmm.
things in it, but like Justin was saying, the music does a lot for this, and like I
Yeah.
felt the same way about like Valley Mountain
Yeah.
in this case. Like music really sets the tone, just in everything, and it can set that tone very well, even if the place is just like, oh, if you look at it without music, it might not even be nearly as scary. Although I would argue that Igniritha at night is still kind of, but
Oh, I just thought of this, but I can't remember names because my memory is also terrible. But whenever the giant spiders pop up, that was kind of creepy.
Oh
Just the way
yeah. Oh
they kind of
yeah.
just like just
That
kind of
Like, oh boy, an item. Oh
quietly
god,
crawling,
spiders.
right? Yeah.
that applies especially to Xenoblade 2, but we'll get to that.
But Xenoblade 1 had like, especially a scene where they go after Ryan, like it was like,
Mhm.
oh no, oh no,
That's what I
oh
was
no.
thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, like they even the camera work, they did such a good job at like telling you like, hey, like this is a hurry. He's gonna die if you don't go now. You're just like, God.
Hmm.
Oh, I see someone's hiding something. Oh. Yeah,
Juju gets the drive. That is
that's
Yeah,
terrifying.
it's
that is
terrifying letting
terrifying.
Juju drive.
Don't let him drive ever again.
Nope.
Somehow
Nope. Nope.
Juju gets to drive has like the same feeling as I think dogs should vote. Like I think Juju should drive. Like no,
No,
there's a reason. Reason Juju can't drive. Reason dogs can't vote.
pretty much.
Any last one ideas or
Oh yeah,
spooky moments?
there's a spooky attack called Blowjag.
My gosh. Come on.
There's this character where they enter your brain and they don't leave you alone for 12 years, and they just ruin your fucking life. And like that's your personality now.
Ghetto? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ghetto. It's totally ghetto.
It's Gato. Yeah, you got it.
No.
All right. How about we talk about Xenoblade X now?
Yeah.
Which that game also has a lot of like, as you were saying earlier, Nick, with like environments that are like very kind of has that horror vibe to them. Like I know not everyone might think that Surveillum was creepy, but I mean it's a beautiful place, beautiful location, but there's
It is
just so
beautiful
many
and
there's
creepy.
just like the music along with just like the environment is just unsettling
It's just
to me.
so gray. Like it feels very like it's beautiful, but I feel like everything in this place could kill me.
Mhm.
It's
Like
probably
there's a
the
lot
most
of creepy things
alien.
too.
Yeah, I think it's scarier because it's like the most alien feeling place in the game. It's like
Mhm.
everything
Yeah.
looks kind of like it could be snowy, but it's actually more like pollen, and there are like these weird plants growing everywhere like that. There are when you get there, you're greeted to by like two floating things that have like that like float like I don't know, like feels like 20 meters up or something like that, and their arms stretch all the way down to the ground or something. Okay, 20 meters is a lot. It might be more like 10 or something. Um, or like it, yeah, just like that alone, and just like how those act is just like feels abnormal. There are giant like monsters that are basically like anglerfish with bat wings, kind of, for lack of a better way to like talk about them,
Yeah.
because they pop out of the ground. Like you see just like these things that look like statues, and they pop out of the ground, and like their eyes are like kind of on top almost, and they have like it's just they're like weird. They just like pop out, and there's like all these looks like discarded like alien looking mechs that will just get up and start floating around, or
Mhm.
are already floating around, and they're just
Yeah.
imposing. There are giant sandworm things that come out of the
Yeah, there's
ground just like
there's a
all the
lot of
time.
really creepy shit in that
Yeah.
area in general. Like it's just like I do love the look of it, but like I don't like walking in it because everything is so dangerous.
Yeah, there's also, not to mention, like one of the coolest parts of Sylvalium to me too is like there's this giant planet looking thing, like this moon looking thing just floating, like that
Yeah.
is connected to the ground by like a root system, and it has like polyps kind of like coming off of it, and it looks like a decaying like giant monster egg thing or something. Um like just this dark core with all this stuff coming off of it. So I'd like
Mhm.
there's a lot there, and like the only thing that's like remotely civilized there are like actual fortresses just full of ganglion, so which are the aliens you fight in that. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
everything about it is like, oh, this is very pretty to look at, but this is extremely like hostile, and that's why, and like very alien, and that's part of why that environment is both so fun and
Mhm.
is you know considerably scary, because it's like there's,
Yeah.
aside from just nothing friendly, it's just like this kind of like hits for me in the same way as like, oh, you being at the bottom of the ocean in like a coral reef with all this shit coming out. I was like, oh, this is so beautiful, but
Yeah, it does
then it
feel a bit
feels,
like you would be at the bottom of an ocean when you think about it.
yeah. But then like these crazy looking crabs or lionfish or eels pop out of the ground, and or like an ugly, or like a extremely ugly fish like jumps up
Yeah.
and eats something out of nowhere. That's what Sylvalum is kind of like to me.
Mhm.
So Vellum also has the very dense fog
Yeah.
where
It
you just
Mhm.
does.
cannot see shit.
Yeah, it does at times. Yeah, that's one of the things, and
Yep,
like,
one
and
of the
then
weathers.
it's got like a crystal clear lake that's like beautiful, and then you can encounter some of the most deadly enemies on it too at certain times.
Yeah.
With the fog. And you don't
Yeah, with
notice
the
because there's
fog.
fog
Yeah.
and you can't avoid it.
Not to mention, if you're like, oh, I found a shortcut, I can circumvent all these things, and then the giant ape attacks. So, because they're like always the giant forearm ape sleeping in like the cave crevices where you can like, oh well, I can get to this side more easily if I just like circumvent through this, and they're like, no, you can't because there's an ape in there.
I
So
don't
yeah,
remember if there was actual apes in Sylvalim though.
there
Were
are
they more
there
in
are
Noctilum?
they're kind of everywhere to be honest, but
Mm.
there's not as
Not
many
true.
there,
Because I
but
remember there was a big one in the desert too.
the giant apes specifically tend to hide in like the tunnels, like
Yeah, they
so.
do.
So like if you know like on the backside of that of the lake, there's like
Mhm.
there's like that tree root thing, and there's like all those tunnels kind of like through that wall and underneath.
Yeah.
They're kind of in there a lot of the time, like in those areas, because you'll be trying to get around something else and you'll
So
run into one.
I
So
had like a sort of flashback about Xenoblade 1. I don't know if I can just go
yeah, go
back
for it.
Oh
quickly.
yeah, go for it.
It's just you know how the people would get turned into Mekon people, like as in
Yeah.
like a bit like because when you mentioned Gato at the right at the end, I was like, wait, like they turned this man like other people into complete mechs by like swapping organs with mechanical part. That's pretty
That
spooky.
That's true.
that is pretty messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was like, we did not mention that. Hold on, we need to mention that because that's like disgusting.
Yeah,
So the
Fiora.
Iron Man.
Yeah. Oof.
Because then it's just like their body is fucked. They're now like they have to live with the mech or they die.
Yep.
But then they somehow
Didn't
managed to like reverse that in the end with Fiora.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe so, but
like
honestly, I call kind of anime bullshit because I don't know how much how possible that would be, but you
Uh,
know,
I mean, I
we'll
that
don't know
just
how possible any of this would be, so
Yeah.
sure, why
yeah.
not?
it's one of
true.
I was gonna say they could easily just like the ether BS going on. They're gonna be just, well, we just rewrite the world this way with the Monado, for that. So it's like,
We
Yeah,
just
that's why I
grew new
call
organs
anime
and put them in.
bullshit.
they got it. They've got an easy like,
But you know, still, it's pretty like off-putting to think, oh yeah, they got their organs removed while being alive and swapped with mechanical part.
We just harvested Ham's organs from somebody else and put them in Fiora. That's what happened. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just saying
Yeah,
stuff.
she just grew. She had stem cells put in her to grow new organs. Like it's not hard to come up with something.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
no,
true.
it's
It's
but
true.
like,
But
yeah,
it's
like
still
I said, there's plenty of ways that is easy to explain it in this series, especially.
Yeah, but anyways, we can go back to Xenoblade X.
yeah, that's all right.
Yes.
So yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, go on. Oh no, you go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say on the same note where we were gonna go into like Calderos, which is like
Yes.
it is definitely. I feel like in some cases you could say, well, it's not that scary because it's just Bowser's castle, but the biome or something almost, but it's not really. I mean, it's very like it feels like the thing about Calderos, besides like, oh, it sucks that it's filled with lava and lava is not fun to mess with. It's like it's that it's a bunch of giant bugs, some of which are just like gigantic flea looking things there.
Oh, I hated those.
Those kind of like are not fun and kind of creepy.
And
There's
weren't there like these lava giants just like walking around in the
yeah,
lava?
the giant lava golems. Yes, those
Mm.
two definitely a pointed thing. It's like there's civilization there, but that civilization is also just like this very suggesting like a very warlike / industrial kind of thing where it's like, oh yeah, what's the biggest building there? Oh, it's like a war arena looking thing filled with like deadly robots, and then there's all these giants like these giant ships floating in the sky that are either there's like, oh, it's an alien carrier ship that is like pitch black and is just like it's all gangly on stuff, or there's like these giant ancient mechanical like piston looking things flying in the air. There's like, oh yeah, these are like some kind of space energy oil rig things flying in the sky or something, and just like everything about them is they're dark, they're imposing. There's nothing really nice in Caldros, including the Nopon.
Yeah, honestly, it's the zone I want to be the lesson. I'm always like, I would always like go close and be like, okay, I'm leaving, bye bye.
Yeah.
So
Um,
scary.
it's like that. Caldros without a scale is just
Even with a
complete.
scale though, like the few times like I went there with my scale just to grab the points really quickly, but like I had to be super careful because they have so many flying things that can
Yeah,
like see you like in 5 seconds and start shooting you that you have to be so careful.
yeah. There are tons of flying Komeva or whatever they're called, the
Yeah.
ganglion
There's a
mechs,
lot
and
of
there's
flying
like
enemies that like
ganglion
do
ships everywhere.
airspace security around that area where like it's very hard to navigate with the scale without being like seen and
Yeah.
destroyed.
There's kind of luckily a little bit of a middle airspace there that you can kind of play it a little safer with, but even then it's kind of hard to. A lot of the stuff on the ground luckily can't reach you except for like if you fly too close to the fire golems, which luckily don't tend to always engage you unless you engage them first. But
Yeah.
there are absolutely exceptions to that as well. And yeah,
In
I feel
general,
like
that
going
area
there on
had
foot is like a no-go thing for the most part
yeah,
a
but
lot of
honestly,
times.
that area in general was like had a lot more aggro stuff. Like it was like a lot of
Oh,
aggro
yeah.
that are very powerful. So like you have to be really careful when you enter
The
that zone. It's
the
crazy.
Zig turrets are like probably one of the worst things because they're like everywhere there, kind of,
Yeah.
and they will target you from like a mile away. They can hit from so far away. So yeah, like it's all kinds of stuff. It is one of the most imposing environments absolutely there. So yeah, it's like there's some horror in that. I don't think it's like the typical kind of like spooky scary, but it's
Mhm.
definitely like it's definitely there, you know.
Mhm.
It's another one of those that is like, oh, this is like the opposite end of like this doesn't feel calm at all. This doesn't even feel like Sylvalem has like this creeping kind of thing of like, oh, anything could come out, but
Mhm.
so far things seem like too calm, like to be true. Whereas
Mhm.
Caldros, you go in and it's just like, oh no, this is just hell.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's literally hell.
Actively
Yeah.
hell. Yeah.
You can see all of the horrific things right away.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's no question when you get into Caldros of, oh, what might be here? You know, like what
Mm.
might attack me? Like everything. It's just you can see it.
Everything literally. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Um. So the next thing, I mean, Primordia for the most part isn't that scary to me, but for the Milosaurs, I didn't really learn this until after I beat the game and I looked in the art book. The Milosaurs are just, I mean, I'm just creeped out by the fact that
Yeah.
the Milosaur's face isn't actually their face. They have a face beneath the long tube that they use to like drink water, and it's this like
Yep.
So this is sort
creepy.
of true because they actually do have eyes up there too. But
Mhm.
yeah, they have a mouth like there and like it's this is a good way to talk about like the creepiest Milosaur, which there is a headless one that you fight
Yep.
that can fight. That is just like, oh nope, the neck was cut off, and you just see like the mouth and the lower face part. And the mouth
Yeah.
is like a you would think, oh, like you look at the heads at first, and it's like, oh, it's this tiny, like almost something like a praying mantis looking thing up there, and
Oh,
then you
okay. I had to Google them because I didn't
yeah.
remember which one it was. I'm like,
Oh, it's
oh,
the big
Mm.
okay,
guys.
these guys. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you look at like right above the front legs, and you see the giant maw there that look like is almost got like this like fish mouth thing
Yeah,
going to it.
they are a bit creepy, yeah. When you look at more details on them, like
Mhm.
they are a bit creepy.
There's
Yeah.
there are several enemies that's like one of those hidden horror kind of things. Like
Yeah.
you have to really look for it, but when you see it, it's just kind of like you can't unsee it anymore.
Exactly. Because like I, for the most, like the majority of the game before I beat it, I just stayed away from them. I mean, they're usually they don't really attack you that
They
often.
don't. They
They
don't,
don't
but
Yeah.
really, they're
yeah.
like passive.
Yeah. But
They're
then
passive, yeah.
But yeah, so they have a a quiet horror underneath that I didn't find out until after I beat the game. It's like, oh, that's messed up.
Yep, they're not they're not like the only enemy that's creepy over there by any means,
Right.
but they're like I
Right.
think they're probably one of the creepiest of those over there, especially because it's just like these things are just like you whenever you start really looking at them, it's their design is definitely like good for that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like trying to think of any others off just like the top of my head that come to mind, but a lot of stuff in Primordia is mostly pretty like it's like yeah, they feel very much animal ecosystem like there for the most
Mm-hmm.
part. So
Yep.
there's a lot of that. Um I will say, because we didn't have it mentioned or anything, but like Oblivia has a few that I do think like there's especially some like the super boss style monsters like the tyrants there. There's like
Mm-hmm.
one that's like there's like one especially that's like the flying like it almost looks like a flying fish worm thing with like a bunch of like alien-esque inspired like stuff coming off of it like Geiger alien
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing, and it was like that could be pretty freaky too. It's some stuff like that. um I could also say with Oblivia that like you could get like that same kind of a little bit of that isolated hostile environment horror, but with like sand and sun and heat rather than like the snow and all that stuff. And they do have
Mm-hmm.
like, not to mention lightning storms that are just like, oh no, it's not
Oh,
just
the
like
freaking
lightning strikes.
storms.
It's like, no, you're stuck in an electric field. Like you're always being damaged in it, and that mostly sucks, but like just it's got a little bit of that. I think it's maybe a little more active in some ways that doesn't feel as isolated. It feels a little more Mad Max to me, I guess, because there's a lot of shit going on there, but I could include it just because like some of the enemies there are a little
Mm-hmm.
creepy. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, someone's adding something.
Yeah, that's true.
Running out of scale insurance.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a true horror story there.
Yeah.
Oh,
That is always bad. No, I'm done.
just easy segue from me mentioning the thing with the alien-esque like pipey tendrils on it from Oblivia. Um,
Mm.
is water treatment plant side quest because wow, does that feel very Alien the movie?
It
It
does.
did.
It
Yeah.
does.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, yeah, it's a lot like that. Basically, it's water treatment plant. People are getting infected with like a basically an alien creature in the water, and like like a lot of people in there. Well, a lot of the mims in there basically die from exploding because of the water, like the parasites in the water treatment. So that's how that's freaky. To kind of like sum it up very quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
imagine if that would have reached the city, it would have been like the end.
Yeah, and that's basically what you're trying to stop
Prevent.
it early, and you're also trying to stop the people who have been infected with it from dying. But it's also like, no, it's kind of fruitless in that part for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You kind
too
of fail
late.
at that, but I mean, I guess it does take a little bit away from it in that it's like, oh, well, Mims, because they can explain away like, oh, well, these people might not totally be dead, but it's still very freaky because it's some
Mm-hmm.
body horror stuff, and
Yeah.
just the idea of it.
Yeah. It just felt like a mini horror movie.
Yeah, it was very much a good kind of like riff on that worked in the Xenoblade world or the Xenoblade Cross world at least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have like it's been a while since I played that quest, so there's a few specifics of it. I'm sure I think I know there's a part where I think you like think you're in the clear and one character's like, "Oh, all I did was take a shower and that was like all it took," or something like that. If I remember
something
right.
like that, where you're like, cool, I got everybody, and one person's like, I had a drink of water. They're
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
"No!"
And you're like, why? Stop! No. It's like, nope, it's too late. Too late.
But I was thirsty.
It was thirsty.
I think it might have been a shower, not one, but it was
I
something
think
like
it was
pretty.
a shower
Yeah.
or something.
Okay, yeah.
Innocuous.
It seemed like it didn't seem like a big deal, and it was just like, oh, we're in the clear. I took a shower, and it's like, no, we're not in the clear.
I was gonna say, did any of the staff from that plant survive?
I think like
I-
one person, and it was like, I think
I
like
think-
yeah, I think like one person
I think
survived that.
the one that commissioned you to check on things. Survived.
Yeah, she was the one, which I guess you could argue she wasn't. Like she was like a supervisory staff.
Yeah, she was a
kinda.
supervisor, and I think she was outside at the time, so she did not get infected. But yeah, she was trying to manage stuff from the outside.
Yeah, basically that.
Mhm.
But yeah, a lot of all the others kind of just died,
Yay!
as I remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Woohoo, dying.
Yeah. There's a lot of creepy stuff in Xenoblade X, like, which kind of comes with the territory of like being hoisted into this
You're in
unknown
an
world.
unknown world in
Mhm.
alien with a lot of alien stuff going on. Of course, it's gonna get creepy.
Yeah.
Not even a distant land. You're stuck on a whole other planet.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Anybody have anything else to add before we move on?
I don't think so.
Not really. No. I guess you could suggest. Well, I mean, well, no, not really. No, I was thinking about something with like one of the alien species, like particular way of like passing on to the next life kind of thing. But that's not really scary. It's just kind of like interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's move on to Xenoblade 2. So we have another suggestion from B, and that was from when Rex died at the beginning of the game. Oh god, I know I got this wrong in the past, but it was Jen
Yep.
that stabbed Rex.
Yeah, you did it. You remember.
Yeah,
I'm
Good
I'm a
job.
fan. I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
You did it. You did it.
Well, honestly, that whole
You can
segment
stay
at
on
the
the
beginning.
podcast.
No, it was
Yay.
Jen's sword though.
That
It
whole
wasn't
segment at
Jen.
the beginning when they
Oh, we tricked you.
scavenge that ship that was like underwater initially, like it can be kind of creepy when you think about it, because like you're going inside like this ship that's been like, unknown to the world for God knows how long, to try
Yeah.
and find something precious, and then
Hey.
the moment you find it, just because you touched it, you get killed.
Floating tomb in space.
I think that scene is like spookier in retrospect, and it's mainly
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's mainly like after the context we get from Torna.
Yeah.
Oh,
True.
common spooky adjacent thing, I guess, that I could say about like a lot of this series, especially like that I feel like is important to add when discussing like the prototype Cosmos, especially, is that the thing she comes out of is absolutely shaped like a coffin, as is the scale cockpit is shaped like a coffin, as is like what Pyra is in at first is shaped like a coffin.
True.
Are you
So,
trying to
know,
say there's a theme?
no, I don't think it's
Okay.
it.
Coffins
Alright.
are spooky.
I was worried.
Neither here nor there.
Maybe Pyra's gonna start moving like prototype Cosmos.
Yeah, it could happen.
Oh, and when Alma's true form.
Yep,
she
Elmer's
kinda-
True Farm too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that I already covered Xenoblade X with like the scale shaped like a cockpit shaped like a coffin as is. I thought, but yeah, like that is definitely the case too.
Yeah. Okay, and B also suggested Amalthus and his experiments were also creepy.
Yeah, Malthus was pretty bad. Oh boy.
Yeah, he was really bad. Which
But they
one
did
of his
not show a whole lot of it because, like, they they kind of brushed over it really quickly, but like you can let your imagination go loose on it, I guess.
I think like the Amalthus is an experience that this happens. There's always a character like that in this series. Is like whether it's like Sellers or Krellian or
Yeah, it's a character
Mhm.
type thing.
Yuriev. You know, they there's a lot of them that do
They
that
they
mad
cra-
scientist
they
making
go a bit
people think.
crazy because of
Yeah,
some shit that happened in their life, and then they start to experiment because oh god, gotta like become god or something
Yeah.
yourselves.
and was Gort, was he an experiment of a Malthus technically?
Like,
Or
Technically his blue friend, but yes,
oh, Blue
I say blue
Sellers,
friend as though
Oh,
Amalthus wasn't blue.
yeah, Blue Sellers. Yes,
Blue
that's his
No,
name.
blue
Sellers.
sellers.
Actual
It was
name.
okay. Which Gort from from Xenoblade the Torna,
Orna. Yeah.
that was some creepy body horror stuff going on there too.
That
It
and he
was, but I
so-
was also so like, I don't understand what you did to cause this.
Yeah, there's that.
Like, how the fuck did you end up with this? And go, yeah, I don't know. We have like a big dog blade, and it ate a person, and maybe that's kind of like what a blade eater is. I don't know. See if it fights.
Oh, and he has like a can opener hand, and
Like, we don't know what the fuck this is, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think there's something here.
We got something. Yeah.
oh, and
Like-
like doesn't it like there's like a weird membrane over the center where it opens up and you see his face in it? Isn't that what happened?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was
so that's why I'm just
freaky
like,
to me.
I need to know more about this. I need an X-ray of this thing. What the fuck am I looking at?
It's kind of hard to parse, and I've not looked at it in a while. So just like thinking back on it, I'm like, oh yeah,
I mean, I know
I
that
don't
for
know.
some people, it being hard to parse kind of enhances like things being scary, but for me, like if it's too hard for me to parse, it just like reads as this is nonsense, ignore it, so it stops being scary.
I mean, honestly,
yeah, I guess.
I like the idea of it, but I also feel like Malice should have been just the final boss.
Also, the glowing red eyes and the zombie
Yeah.
flesh teeth. I'm looking at the picture of it again. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I was doing that too. Yeah,
Yeah, there's just a lot of like, what is this?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely that.
Mm-hmm.
Which again
Um,
can absolutely enhance horror for some. I'm not one of them, but that does not mean that means it's not scary.
So
I
one
just
thing,
can't stand his face.
yeah, face is gross and
Like even in the normal version of Gore.
Okay, you know what? You know what Gord's final form reminds me of? Did people play Resident Evil 5?
yes.
I saw.
Do you remember that one like really obnoxious voice where he's like, "I got an extreme makeover"? That guy.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that guy.
yeah.
Okay. I see it.
That-
I see it.
Yeah. So it's just I see Gordon, I just see that guy, and I'm like, okay.
Trust the Gort fisherman.
So one place that I kind of got a little creeped out was like the lower areas of Tontal, because I mean, for the most part, Tontal's just like a kind of snowy
Yeah. Well, it's
turtle
also the
place.
same thing as like Valak Mountain, where like you're a bit in this land that's a bit empty, full of snow, and like you know, it's really big too. Like it's like a bit
But
off-putting because of that.
Well, then when you go down to the lower levels, there's like tentacle monsters floating in the air, and
That too.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
it's
that
like,
scared
oh
the shit out
god,
of me. I did not know those were there. I
right,
go over to the link and I'm like, the fuck is that?
The giant
Exactly.
octopus thing.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm just
Cloud
like-
Sea King Ken, one of my favorite bosses.
Cloud,
actually.
Cloud King. Cloud Sea King.
Cloud Sea King Ken.
Yeah. say
So
that
I
3
used to
times
be
fast.
afraid of him until I started learning how to like do builds, and then he became my
I was gonna say
he
there
became
is
my
a-
punching bag for a very long
he-
time.
Your punching bag.
It is kind of easy to like get to a point where you can kind of cheese him a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
he topple like super easy technically?
He can potentially topple, but
I
like
think I toppled him a lot. I
what
think that was,
what
like,
Cloud
the
Sea King
only one.
Ken can do that's kind of annoying is he has that one spinning move that could just juggle your whole party,
Oh right.
and
yeah.
like it could do it multiple times in a row. but then you play how I play, and you make Morag an agility tank and just dodge all of it, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, Cloud Seeking King is definitely I remember he was pretty good for farming certain chips, but that's besides the point. Cloud Seeking Ken, not Cloud Seeking Ken.
I get to make dumb jokes all I want.
We did want to make sure that it wasn't Seeking and Seeking, and it was Seeking.
Yeah, Seeking.
Well,
No,
Yeah.
you know,
Ken.
the great Smash Brothers fic, Cloud Seeking Ken.
no. No.
That's a part of the scary stuff, though.
I mean,
It-
I guess it could be. I don't know.
Depends.
It's not very well written, so
Have
that's
you
kind of
read
scary.
the fic? No.
Yeah.
Is it written by one of these generators?
Oh God.
Ugh,
It could be.
might as well be. And this thing that we're making up just to get mad at.
Yeah. Isn't that thing that's totally real just awful?
Yeah, that real thing, it's so bad. Then we're gonna find out it is real, and we're gonna feel
Yeah,
like kind of bad.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else for Xenoblade 2? I'm trying to think, but like...
Were any of the? I'm trying to think of any of the rare blades. Did anyone find any of them like creepy? or...
How did
Almost-
people feel about Azami? That seems like the easy one to go with.
Oh,
I mean, she's a yandere. Run.
I'm about as scary as the giant lady from Dimitrescu or whatever. What Dimitrescu? Yeah,
Lady D.
Dimitrescu. Yeah,
Lady D.
about as scary as her, I guess. I don't know. I didn't think she was scary,
So
but
you're
like,
just like,
I
oh,
didn't think she was
teehee,
so
I'm running,
scary either.
teehee.
Like,
definitely worth mentioning because the horror vibe. for
yeah,
sure,
yeah, I was gonna say she has the horror vibes, but I didn't especially find her to be that scary. And like, it's like she's got like the evil side, but you never really see her being outright evil. And if she does get upset, it's usually warranted.
She's just creepy because she's a yandere, and she's gonna go to extreme length to let you know that she loves you.
I'm gonna
And that she
say
wants to be with you.
in creepy android kind of like face kind of way, I would almost say Aegeon is creepier.
I guess Aegeon was just such a nice guy. I'm like, I
Yeah,
can't
he
be
is,
scared
but
of you.
like I
You're
could see somebody
adorable.
being a little bit creeped out by just like looking at him and just being like, "What is this thing? Like, what is
He's-
this guy?"
Yeah, he looks intimidating, but he's a sweet role.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where
That's like
God, what was his
Wolfric.
name?
Is that
No, not Wolfric.
because Wolfric's
Oh, but
another
that-
one that's like, you know, people thought he was scary. That was his whole arc. Like,
Oh
that people
Yeah,
yeah,
afraid of
it's-
him and-
it's so adorable.
Gosh,
That-
there was another one where, like, with his previous owner, he was an assassin, and now he's like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. I'm just a guy. I like to be alone, but I'm just a guy.
Just a guy.
God,
Trying to figure out who you might be.
I can come back to that.
Okay, I mean,
I don't want to like stall while I go look him up. Is all I'm saying. So.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could. Yeah, like going back to Wolfric, like his quest, as Justin mentioned, like him trying to prove that he's not this big scary guy was adorable, and then like the heart to heart where he like befriends this old lady that can't see very well was adorable.
Yeah.
yeah, it was just a great little story thing anyway. But yeah, it is completely based around the idea that Wolfric is scary to people. So
Mm-hmm. Which he is kind of creepy looking, but he is also a cinnamon roll. So
Yeah,
Percival.
Oh, Percival. Yeah, I could see that. Also, Percival has that thing where the way he moves is a little bit off-putting in general. So it's like a little bit of that like weird puppety kind of horror thing too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really liked Percival. I thought the design was cool as hell.
Oh, I liked him too. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I
Okay.
could see people finding him weird looking.
I guess
or-
one thing
for
that
sure.
can be a bit creepy from Xenoblade 2, no, it's
Uh-huh.
kind of late spoiler, but like I'll try to be vague by saying the god being split in two and having half of his body in another dimension.
That
Oh,
is
now
kind
we
of
care
messed
about
up.
spoilers?
We
I just
we
wanted to
go into this
mention.
podcast, you know.
No,
I
no,
know we don't care, but I still will say, spoiler.
no, it's all right. It's all right. But yeah, being like split between two dimensions is kind of messed up.
Yeah, it's pretty
And
messed up when you think about it. You're like, huh?
Oh,
yeah,
I guess whenever you look at the back of Newt's character model and see a giant fucking eye out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you're not expecting that, you're like, the fuck is that?
Yeah. Oh, I could see that putting some people off.
Oh, you know what else? Perun's boob jiggle. That's scary.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually quite true. Feels like it almost
Because
applies
you're
to
like, what a cool character. What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, it happens.
She can't calm her tits, literally.
I will not calm my tits.
I have no chill for an ice blade.
Alright, well, I guess we're probably done with Xenoblade 2. Honestly, there's a bit less in Xenoblade 2 that, I don't know.
We talked
Or
longer about it than I thought.
Unless we
Yeah.
would go into Torna, where, like, Torna had a bit more, I guess, spooky stuff in terms of, like, how, everyone got fucked over, but... And
That's
there
not
was this...
spooky though. It's just
But that's not
depressing.
that
It's just
spooky, it's just
depressing, yeah.
depressing, yeah.
I mean,
And
we
just
did talk
That's why I
about
wasn't
Tor-
really bringing up Land of Moritha, because
I
it's
guess
more depressing.
Yeah.
we could say the concept of flesh eaters is a little bit creepy in the same kind of body horror-ish way, I guess, if you think about it, but there's nothing like actually shown. Oh, there was one other thing about Xenoblade 2 I kind of wanted to mention that I could see being like seen as a little freaky in like Uriah. There's like that inner stomach part where you have those really strong enemies that look kind of like these weird parasitic
Oh yeah.
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
They look
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like the Tremors 2 things.
Huh.
You know, yeah, they kind of do. The Parasacs, that's what they're called. I remember them. Yeah, those are a little freaky. You
Yeah.
know, if you're scared of the little bug things from Tremors 2, I guess. But I think it's actually creepier the fleshy environment that they're in, and just like how weird and powerful they are.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's the only other thing I could think of to mention right now from Xenoblade 2 off the top of my head.
Okay, so let's move on to the latest Xenoblade, Xenoblade 3.
Yoo-hoo.
So Robin, did you want to
Yes.
discuss the existential dread of the Endless Now?
So just the idea of like generally throughout a lot of stories, the idea of like what defines humanity is its ability to progress and change and adapt, and having that completely stripped away from you and never being able to change and never being able to adapt and having to be stuck forever and not even knowing it. And even if you do know it, it doesn't matter. And people who are aware of it want it to stay that way. And it's not even out of any like, oh, if humans progress too much, then like they'll start to eat babies, and I don't want humans eating babies. It's just fuck you. That's why we're doing this. So it's just the idea of eternally being stuck. It's like the Groundhog's Day sort of horror, except
Yeah.
you don't even know that you're repeating it, and maybe some people do. Like Ashira remembers some of her past death. She has a scar that slowly gets bigger throughout her life, and like knows that she's going to die because she has these memories, and like Uni at points is haunted by her past death, and but like it's still, there's no ability to grow from any of it. It's just forever being 10 through 20. And think about what a dumbass y'all were at ages 10 through 20 and never getting older or learning from any of that and just doing it again.
Yeah, it's
Well,
definitely a creepy feeling. Like it's a very like, sci-fi-esque like time loop kind of scenario, but like you're not aware of it, but like you still kind of get glimpse of memories of like past lives you had, even though like you're now a new person. Yeah, it's a bit like off-putting when you think about it. It's just like, oh yeah,
I
no.
mean, not to mention that the state of the world they're in repeat on is war time all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they try to steal energy from one side or the other. kind of thing.
Yeah, so like they're in this perpetual exhaustion state from which they can never recover, and like again, we know that they get glimpses of the past, so they have that like former exhaustion from being in a wartime. So they just really cannot grow and develop, and it makes sense why the people in the city would have so much difficulty knowing how to contact and interact with them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Messed up.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Should we next one?
that's what I had.
Yeah, which kind of goes into, well, kind of goes into what B listed here, like primarily focused on N, um, his obsessions, with, well, she says with Noah, with M, with the Endless
Oh.
Now.
The temptation of the endless now to not lose what you have going, and like will basically leads into sacrifice everything to keep it, including his own family.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and
His own like
Fucked up,
continued
like-
like legacy, even like
Yeah,
all of
but I
that.
hated that like they evolved that more in Future Redeemed because I liked it when it was just like he was just so focused on this goal he was willing to do something completely horrible. And then they kind of made it more ambiguous, like unambiguously, like actually it was good that he did that.
Oh,
yeah.
don't.
I'm like, what?
I mean, I you can read it that way for sure, but I didn't. I don't know if it was trying to say it was good exactly. It was like, oh, it happened to work out rather than, oh no, his intentions were pure with it, kind of thing. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
happened to work out in like a different kind of way that I don't think was necessarily foreseen, but I don't know. Like maybe I'm not getting what you're referring to exactly on that
I might not
part.
be remembering it very well. So
Oh, okay. Like I was like, I'm a little fuzzy on like what part of that are we like? It was like, yeah, it did work out, but in like maybe it was like, oh, well, it
it
was
was. I
planned to
don't
be.
remember it. I
Yeah,
do remember that they gave more justification for why he did it, and it
yeah,
was
but
like,
I felt like
oh,
it was bullshit justification to more than anything. I didn't think it was
all
like
right.
actual like, oh no, he this was the plan kind of thing. I thought it was more like, no, this was very much still a very selfish and like shitty decision more than like a,
Okay.
you know, it just like just because things it's not because he did it that it actually worked out. It's because there were other people involved to re-steer like the course of things that it even came together at all like it did, kind of thing,
Yeah.
is what the way I kind of saw it. But
Okay. Again, it's been too long, and I do not remember it well. So
no, you're good. You're
I'm
good. You're
going
good.
to
I just
trust
thought
that
I
you
would
remember
add.
it then.
Oh,
I just
you're
wanted to add
fine.
my thoughts on that.
Yeah, just like his obsession with the Endless Now, because it it was kind of creepy how he eventually started like treating M, because it was almost like he didn't see her as, I don't know, like he almost
Didn't
started to
see her
develop.
as a person, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
exactly. Like
objectification.
is trying to like almost turning her into like an object rather than the person
Yeah.
that he used to love, and it did get a little creepy.
Yeah.
It was possessive for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, it was like,
I will always remember his face whenever him disappears and he just go like into that very fucked up face. I was like, oh god. Like they did such a good job with the expressions.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
the expressions in this series have just gotten better and better and better. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm. So another creepy thing, like the Mobius, the consoles when they transform, they can be pretty creepy looking.
Yeah, they're very creepy. And like also like just the first one that gets introduced, whenever you do that you see that scene like where he grabs this I forget the name of the person. Oh, I forgot his name. But he grabs
Yorin?
someone and kills them. Hmm?
Was it Yorin or Mambwa?
Momo, I
Mwamba,
think.
Mwamba.
mom.
Mo-
Mambwa.
I have no idea how
Mwamba,
to say his
yes.
name, but this guy.
Mwamba.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
like he
guy.
gets grabbed, it's just like flat out kill him in cold blood
He
there
was
in
one
front of
day from
everybody
retirement.
else. It was like, oh no. And like this thing looks like an alien kind of aura. Like you look at it like, what the fuck are you? But yeah, they can be pretty off-putting whenever they appear and you're just like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like the very whenever you fight them you also have the the Moebius music, like that slaps, but that is also
Oh,
like very much like creepy in a sense because
it's
it
very
almost looks
creepy
like
and
it's
intense.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very creepy. Like they're laughing at you, kind of thing. Like we're stronger and etc. We're gonna crush you like little insects. But yeah,
I just you saying it like that reminded me of the US version of Sonic CD's like boss music where there's like all the laughing in the back.
yeah.
Like why'd they go so hard with this?
Because they wanted to.
No, it's just funny to think about.
Oh, anybody can think of anything else?
I guess the people that dies and just clothes are left can be a bit creepy. Because they just get sent away and like although like we don't really see the body horror of it, the idea of like the whole person disappearing and just the clothes left behind is a bit creepy.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like they really kind of like tone down, like death in that game is way more just playing on like the feelings of like sadness
Yeah,
and
I know,
stuff,
but
and
still
like
like
it really
seeing
tones
your
down like
one
the horror
friend right
thing.
there
But
1 second and then like they get sent over and they disappear completely in particles and there's just the clothes left. It's kind of like, oh no, my friend is gone forever. There's not even a body left. I can't even like bury them and like do any services or whatever. Just like they're gone forever.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
But yeah, aside from that, I don't know if I can think of anything else because like the setup of Xenoblade 3 was a lot more like a war than like any huge horror as far as I can
the
tell.
horrors
I
of
guess it was
war.
there was a
Yeah.
bit of psychological horror of like, human beings being afraid of like, what they don't know, etc. But at the same time, I'm like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
not
fear the
it's not
unknown. Yeah.
that big into leaning into horror though. So it's just I'm not sure what else I could put in there. I'm trying to think if any characters had like horror-esque stuff. I guess the Queen of Kevin's puppet was pretty creepy.
Oh yeah, when her face came off,
Oh
that
yeah,
Yeah.
that part. Yeah, you could conclude that. That was a
Yeah.
Terminator moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was a
Bit of a
very Terminator
I
moment.
was gonna suggest maybe, and this is just whatever, but like there feels I guess there feels like something that's kind of like dread inducing about annihilation events in general. But
Mm.
that's I don't know if I could say that feels full on horror to me. Just like the idea of it is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, yeah, I guess
So we're
that's pretty much it.
so we're saying that the older Xeno games were much creepier.
Well, did
I
we?
think we're saying
Yeah.
Xenosaga was very creepy.
Xenogears was also very creepy, but it was also toned down by the fact that the graphics were not nearly as big. So, while
Mm.
Xenosaga was like a bit more, explicit with the details.
Yeah.
That's true.
But they were both very creepy, honestly. They had a lot of creepy stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just like the later stuff really is toning it down
But
in
the
favor
later
of
stuff,
other
they're
things.
also trying to take
Yeah.
like the thieves and like the ideas can be just as creepy, but they do try
Mhm.
to tone it down so that they get a bit better into ratings where like they can sell more, so I get it.
That and also I think just in general, Xenoblade 3, like the way it handles death, it's you have a lot of characters in Blade that are more accepting of death. They're not necessarily
Yeah,
really
that
afraid of
too.
it, and I think that's a big reason why Blade 3 doesn't come off as creepy because it's not shown in a horrific light as often.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
that's a
really.
really
Because
good. That's a really
because
good point.
they're just thinking, oh well, we might lose ourselves of now, but we'll
Yeah.
come back still, kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
there's
Well,
not like as huge of a fear of death because you just come back anyways.
well, aside
Well,
from
they
like
don't know that they
people from
come
the
back.
city, and they don't know that
Not
you're back
always,
either.
not always, but
Yeah.
there was some scenario where they
But just in
sort of
general,
did.
like death
Yeah.
for quite a few people in Blade 3. Not everybody, obviously. Obviously, the people in the
Mhm.
city look at it very differently. But like,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, folks under the influence of the clock, they almost embrace death like it's a celebration, right? It's not necessarily
Yeah.
a sad thing
Right.
that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
And-
giving their energy to the system. Yes, we're proud warriors of like having died here in battle. You know, just
Which makes
type
it
thing.
interesting when there are some people that are like, once they're freed of their clocks, they're like, "Oh my god, what do I do with my life now?"
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like they get a bit lost because of that.
yeah.
So it's like in a way, it's kind of I actually find that more interesting because in a way, it's almost like the idea of living longer is scarier than dying in Blade 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah, it plays on that in a very different way from what they did with Albedo back in the day.
Mhm.
But it is always like kind of an interesting thing that I kind of like them exploring in the series in general. It's just as you said before, it's just that this game, it has a lot of death and stuff and a lot of danger of that, but it's just played for this feeling of like misery and sadness more than it is for like a horror thing, for sure. Because
Yeah,
horror,
pretty much.
there's a lot of cases in which like making it a horror thing would kind of like take away from that, I feel like, anyway. So
Yeah, there's still
Yeah.
similar themes going on, but it's still very much like a different philosophies in some of the previous titles. So it's just like it doesn't hit the same way or the same vibes, so to speak.
All right. Well, if there's not anything else, I think we're good to wrap things up.
wait, did we mention the last point there on Xenoblade 3? I
We
don't.
did.
Oh, we did?
Yeah,
Sure,
Robin.
yeah,
Robin
yeah.
brought it up.
That was
Oh, okay,
mentioned.
yeah, that was part of that. Yeah, my bad.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining me tonight, guys. This was a very spooky conversation. So let's go around and say what we're up to. How about you, Justin?
So, Creepy Casino, y'all know it's October, so we've been playing some horror games on stream, and we do plan on having a Halloween event. I got to speak to Sam and Anthony about that, so yeah, look forward to that, or catch the VODs. And otherwise, yeah, continue to watch the channel, continue to support us. I'm playing fun games on there.
You
Nice.
said
Yeah.
Creepy Casino, but you did not say your channel name.
You already know it's Retro Roulette.
Yeah. We said it a lot.
Retro roulette.
Yeah.
Which you guys, I did love you and Robin's play of Obscure.
Sure was fun.
Yes, and we're
Was
doing
that the
Obscure
one in
too.
the creepy school?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
We're
I
playing
did see
through-
I did see bits and pieces of it. I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck's going on in here?"
Just like
Yeah,
it
that's
was.
how I felt about it. The second one is even more what the fuck is going on here.
Oh, there's a
Yeah.
second one. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
we've been
what they're
playing
playing
through the
now.
second one.
Okay, I'll have to go back into the voice buds because like I
Bud,
think
yeah.
it was
Bud,
like
yeah.
very interesting.
It was mostly funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not a
it's
very
really
horrific
funny,
game.
but also very interesting
Yeah.
because
They're
it's a funny horror.
they're certainly interesting games. What about you, Robin? What have you been up to? If you want.
Not too much. I've been trying to play through Trails of Cold Steel, but if I'm on my computer for like 2 consecutive hours, my cats get upset.
Aw.
So it's been a process. Since I'll be
Well,
like, "Can I please just play my video game?"
Maybe you should
And they're like,
train your
"No."
cat to come onto your shoulder while you play video
I
games.
have been
like
trying, like,
Pokemon.
because
Dissing your
so
cat.
main is if I pick her up and put her on my desk, she's happy. But the problem is if I pick her up, she's sad. So she'll see that I'm trying to pick her up, and she's like, "No, I do not want Dad to pick me up. No."
Inconsolable.
But if I'm able to grab her and get her on my desk, she's like, "Oh, this rocks. Thank you so much for putting me here." And I'm like, "Just let me put you there. We can both be happy."
She just wants you to teleport her there. No.
She does it like, please make me free from the ground to up. Currently, and why we are not streaming Obscure this week that we are recording, which won't matter because I don't think this episode will be up before it matters. I'm dog sitting, and I actually have to go because the dog would like to go on a walk, and I would like to facilitate that. So I'm
Oh.
going to head off, but thank you very much.
Oh, thanks
And,
for joining us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I will, be back to hang later, but enjoy your Halloween and doing your Halloween things.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Take
Bye.
care.
All right. Next, Marie.
Yeah. I've been like I said earlier, I've been playing too much Trails. I'm catching up slowly. I'm in Cold Steel 3. I can make it one day. But yes, there's that. I've been also playing East Stand in Japanese with Cilantro because yeah, that's been a thing. I did order the English version, but I'll probably play it a bit later since I've already played most of the Japanese version. And of course, as usual, I'm streaming every week. Currently, I just finished Xanadu Next and started Tokyo Xanadu X. And I'm also going through Sakuna, so Sakuna of Rise and Wood. So like, yeah, these are pretty fun game, and it's been fun to start. Thing is with Tokyo Xanadu, I started that game so long ago, but then I kind of forgot. I kind of got distracted, and then I forgot most of the plots. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna replay it when I'm further in Trails and I can get most of the references. And it's been a blast for that because just the first session, I was like, oh my god, I see this, I see this, I see this. Just you see all the references sprinkled all over the game. It's fun. But yeah, yeah, I stream every week, every Friday and Sunday. Most times. Ikari Kurogari. So yeah, you can go on that.
Nice. Okay. How about you, Nick?
Honestly, wow, it's like hard to say actually, in some ways because I'm just like, wow, I think I was planning to play more horror games than I have this month, which is none. I've like watched people play them, and at the start of the month, I was to the part in Paper Mario Thousand Year Door where you're in the spooky town. So it was like, well, there's my Halloween.
There's the spooky.
Yeah, there's the spooky, I guess. But
Spooky.
I've just been between too many different things, I guess. Like between like projects working on for various things, and whether it be like our Minecraft server things that I'm like helping on, or just like, oh, I'm busy because I'm gone this day, taking care of something,
Yeah,
or
basically, do you struggle with adult life?
or yeah, well that, and just like, oh, whenever I'm home is like what am I thinking to do lately, and it's been like, oh, the Genshin and Star Rail rabbit hole a little bit too much, but also like I was trying to finish I was playing Paper Mario a bunch, and I was trying to finish up like Sekiro, and I've still been in those, and I guess I don't know, like there's a lot I still want to do, and I'm just like I'm between too many different things right now to do them. I feel like I actually just got back from like a concert even today, so like I was pushing it to even get here on time for this, and
Yeah.
like I haven't even gone to that many concerts this year. It was just like my second one this year, which is like compared to last year, that's not much at all. That's nothing. But I've been having a good time. It's just been
Good.
been
Yeah, I'm
split
glad you had a
between a
good
lot of
time.
stuff.
That's what's important.
I've been split between so many things.
I feel that.
I'm just like, oh yeah, the most horror game content is me watching other people play horror games on like Twitch or something.
That
So, like,
count.
I love watching
you're
horror
living
games, but God, am I super bad at them because I get way too stressed.
you're living
Well,
vicariously through them.
yeah, a lot of them are just funny. I like watching people playing like especially like the shitty first person horror games where horror quote
Yeah, the
unquote
thing is,
games where
it's
it's
funny
like,
when you watch
oh
it, but like when you're the one holding the controller, it's a
yeah.
different perspective.
Well, there's that, but these are also like something you could only find on itch.io or something, and it's like,
True.
oh, it's spooky hot dog stand, and you've got to make the hot dogs but ghost attack sometime. and things like that. Like I love that
Yeah, like
silly stuff like that.
the indie horror games, yeah. Those are pretty those can be
Spook.
both very spooky but very funny at the same time.
Ooh, spooky pizzeria, or
I
like
always think about the convenience store one that Justin played.
yeah, they're kind of like that. And honestly, of the indie horror games, like those the ones like that are like the chill as art stuff are a little less like goofy and a little more like effective, I think, in what they're trying
Yeah.
to do. But I'm seeing
Mhm.
like a bunch of them I've seen lately are just like they're pure just silliness. Like they're trying, I guess, here at times, just depending on which one, but they're like complete goofball bullshit a lot of the time. Like usually it's mundane task, then thing happens. Um, I also tend to like I'll go back to Voices of the Void, and it's been getting updates and stuff lately. So like that's always a fun alien horror sandboxy game that I enjoy, where you do mostly mundane tasks as well. But yeah, no, like I've mostly, like I said, mostly it's been as far as like games of note. I've still been in the middle of Sekiro and Paper Mario, but I'm getting close on both of those. Like I'm in the latter half for sure. I think
Yoo-hoo!
I'm actually like 3/4 of the way through both of them, I believe.
Let's
So
go. It's a nice
Nice.
feeling when you're close to the end. Like it's the same for me with Coastal 3. Like I'm close to the end, but like close to the end
yeah.
in Trails can also mean oh you still have 30 hours left.
Mm,
Oh, there is one other thing. I did play Darkstalkers the other day, as I think I may have said earlier. Oh yeah, I did, because we were talking about the laugh. I did play some Darkstalkers with some friends the other day, which
Nice.
was nice to go back to, and that's some fun spooky themed stuff that I like to
yeah.
play. So that's nice. And then we switched to Soul Calibur 6 for some reason, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot this game also rocks. But anyway, yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That-
Nice.
And
Yeah,
then
I'm kind of similar too. Like I've been wanting to play horror games, but I haven't really been. Like I started playing Conscript, which is like a horror game that's like takes place during World War One, and
Mhm.
it's has like this OG Resident Evil graphic style to it. It's really good.
Oh,
that's
PS1
interesting.
graphics. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah, analogish. Yeah, PS1 style for that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's really good, but I'm just also like sometimes I get a little stressed out in horror games.
Yeah.
I
So
feel that.
so I haven't been playing it a lot. I've been playing a lot more Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, which not really creepy, but it's scary how much content there is. There's that.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
well, to be honest, like lately we've been having so much RPG like coming out back to back to back to back to back that it's just like, oh god, so much. We're eating, but it's like we're eating too much right now. It's like a
Yeah,
buffet.
We say that
yeah,
so much every episode this year, probably.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's been a good year,
Yeah,
Yeah.
this year
but
has been like it's like the new golden age of RPG. It's crazy.
mhm.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, and the demo I played the demo of Metaphor
Ah,
ReFantazio, and that
yeah, I
game's
want this game so bad.
yeah.
Same.
I might wait a bit, but I think I would like to buy it at some point. The
I
demo's
will
really
buy
good.
it eventually. It's just right now I have too many releases, but I do plan on
Mhm.
getting a PS5 before the end of the year, and I do want to get a physical copy of Metaphor, so I will
Mhm.
likely get it on PS5
I
whenever
think I'm
I
gonna
do.
play through the other SMT stuff I have just sitting there before I hit up
Mm,
Metaphor, even though I'm like
that's
really
fair.
It might go on
I'll
sale
probably
by
just
then
pick it up
too.
later, anyways. Like
exactly.
most
Exactly.
True.
of the anyways, like most Atlas titles, they get on sale fairly quickly.
Mhm.
So like if it gets on sale a bit later, I might grab it a bit earlier than what I had planned. But other than that, like I'm not in a hurry. Like I'm drowning in RPGs, so I'm just
That's
like,
where I am with Metaphor. Like it looks really good.
Hmm.
Oh, I
And
know it's gonna be
it
I've
seems
good.
to
heard
Yeah.
have
almost
everything that I would love.
yeah, I've
But at
heard
the same
almost
time,
nothing
like,
but great things
yeah,
about it.
I need to wait a little bit. Either way, I don't even have the console yet that like has because I think with Metaphor, I think it has physical copies. It's mostly PS5 in the West, unless you import the Asian version that for PS4 that has a physical copy.
Mm.
But has all the languages because I don't think they did a physical copy in the West for PS4. So
Hmm. That's
At
weird.
least that's what that's what I saw when I read into it. So that was I was like, I'll probably get the PS5 version because I want a physical copy.
Mhm.
I swear I will play a horror game before this is over, even if it's just me doing another run in World of Horror.
I have horror games on my Steam, but like too much of a coward to open them.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. But yeah, otherwise, I have been a little bit working on Zenokami fan translation project a little bit. Kari gave me some next translation to implement. I just need to work on it. Or getting really close to finishing Shion, but I'm not gonna say if we'll finish it. It probably won't finish it by this year, so I don't want to set any expectations. But we are making progress.
Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. But other than that, yeah. Thank you everyone, and thank you everyone for listening. Don't know what we'll be doing in the future, but we will keep you posted. So happy Halloween and have a good night, everybody.
See ya. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Later.
Bye.
Save the game?
Stupid computer noise. Sorry.
I don't even hear it. You're fine.
Yeah, you sound
It'll-
fine.
It'll be in my recording.
Oh, no.
This will go with the bloopers then.
Okay, good job!